and it's just like it's been really cool. I've had so many crazy experiences, like just playing for the first time and having it live on stream. Like a few weeks ago, I had I feel like I was the kid growing up. I had a really crazy experience of a few weeks ago when we were doing a game, and like there was a decision that Ren had to make, my character, and I was like, I would never give away my weapons and things like that to gamble, but like quickly in my head, I was like, well, Ren would do that, so let's just go ahead and do it. And I just experiencing all these crazy things that like I have really been enjoying this game a lot, and it's gonna be weird. I've been talking about like when it ends, like I don't know how I would play with some like other people. Like I don't know if I character, you know what I mean? It's just like I've kind of grown to love this character so much, and like building him to be this kind of like person that I would want to be, and very charismatic and all that stuff, and it's just been really cool.
That is cool, right? So yeah, I mean, coming from a video game RPG background, you don't have that mutability of being able to, oh, this is how, you know, there's not that much difference between player and character, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And with D&D, or at least the way you guys have been playing it, you have been very true to, okay, no, this is a conception of you know, it might be a facet of you, but it's not you, and you can remove yourself. Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, I think that's the big step from people who are like, oh, used to playing, you know, like a Skyrim or something like that.
Yeah.
How long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming for 4 years. I just had to think about that. For 4 years, and then I've been partnered for 2 years. Yeah, so next year will be year number 3 as a partner on Twitch. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it feels like Twitch has infected so much of the gaming world, right? Like, you've seen that. Did you know about that when you started doing it, or did you just do it as a lark?
Oh, absolutely not. Like I started it as like a marketing thing for my old gaming website, and then I learned that you can't really market a website via Twitch, so I just kind of started streaming on my own, and I had no idea what I was doing, and then it kind of just blew up into this thing where it got me to like my job now and all these opportunities I'm doing now. And now it's kind of crazy to see like friends who I've known for years like diving into Twitch now, because like 4 years ago, no one knew what Twitch was, and I was like the lonely one out on the outside. And to see it like kind of grow and people like getting excited and being a part of it, it's been pretty cool.
That is really cool. Well, you know, we've been talking around your characters a little bit, but Surena, why don't you talk a little bit about what your character is on Rivals and Waterdeep, and what they're all about?
Sure. I play the character Ashbourne. She's a half-elf ranger, and she has I'm discovering more things about, because when I built her, my claw. So originally I was like, oh, it would be really cool to have this like unique barrier for me. Like I like when I build characters, I like having big flaws or things that they have to overcome or get used to, or things that keeps me as a actor off balance too, because that's really fun for me to play. So yeah, she has this claw arm Talon, and a best friend buddy named Chips, who is a little fox, and he's so cute. But it's interesting as a player deciding all these things about your character, and then in game there's stuff about my claw arm that I don't know about right now, that Arama's introducing, and it's really cool because it's bigger than I thought it would be.
So, yeah, I love that about D&D, is like you can have this idea for something that's you know, oh, this will just be a cool detail, whatever.
Yeah,
doesn't even have to be explained. And then a good dungeon master like Aram Vartian, who's of course been running this game for you guys, will always take advantage of that as much as possible.
Yes. But she's very much like a lot of my favorite characters to play. She's like really rowdy and brash, and she I like just to make choices. Like I don't like like deciding on what the best choice would be. Like I'm really impatient as a human, so I just diving in and just like doing it, even though I know as a player that it's probably the wrong choice.
Yes.
So, yes.
That will happen very often when you play the instigator.
Yes.
Yeah, I always end up being that person in the party, because I think, like you, I'm not very patient, and so there will be lots of times where I'm like, why are we talking about this, guys? I'm just gonna run in and start hitting stuff.
Just mess stuff up.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
I rolled a random character on D&D Beyond because I was going to play in a game here. I'm like, oh, I didn't have time to make a character, so I'm just going to do this and do whatever happens. And the character had I think she had a 17 intelligence and a 4 wisdom. So I was like, all right, she's really bookish and wants to learn as much as she can, but she's going to fuck up a lot. She's going to mess things.
No street smarts.
Yes, exactly. And it fits perfectly into being that type of character. It's like, I'm just going to fight. Let's just, make it happen. I love that. Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Ren? What's Ren all about?
Yeah, I play Ren Lead on Rivals of Waterdeep. He is a high elf sorcerer who has a obsession with gold. If you ever seen the show, or the first one at least, he has gold all over the place. He has gold ears as well. He was an orphan. Just living on the streets and just been obsessed with gold because he wants to have a life of being wealthy and successful, because he wants to outdo what his life has been like in the past. And so he's met all these people in the party, and now this is the first family he's ever gotten. So I'm kind of trying to push this character into a way of he's learning along the journey, and but also he goes back and forth between his morality, if he should be a thief, or if he should be this kind of stuff. But he's learning a lot through everybody that he meets. So it's been pretty cool, because I feel a little bit of myself in it. And so I kind of threw a little bit of the characteristics of myself into him, but also things I would never do, obviously. But yeah, pretty much Ren.
That's pretty cool. That's the best when you're starting off, is having a character turned a little bit to the right or left, right? Something that's mostly me, but a little bit different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then once you get into, crazy demon claws, then that's when you've graduated to the next level. But I also, wait, hold it. Did we actually get onto the Twitch here? Are we streaming? I will take a clean edit right here, Ryan. Hi everyone on Twitch. Sorry about our delay on getting on here. We had some crazy technical difficulties, but we, rather than lose all the time of interviewing, we just started off with interviewing Surena and Brandon. So welcome them, Surena, Marie. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
And hi. Brandon, Stennis. Hi, how are you? That's everybody.
Hi.
The Twitch chat is there, and they're just gonna have to do what they can to get up to speed. Okay, so back to the questions. So you guys at the Stream Many Eyes, I definitely saw that the two of you had this crazy bond. I don't know if it was just apparent to me that the two of you latched onto each other. And was it true that you had not met before we were planning the show? Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's so funny, because I was actually just thinking about that. I have a really good friendship with Surena. We even had a conversation the day of we were doing right before the stream, and I was trying to figure out what kind of voice I was going to give my character. I didn't know what I was going to do, and she was just okay, think of it like this, and I was okay, she's right, let's just do it. And I just felt our two characters were just kind of a brother and sister kind of situation. And I don't know why I get all emotional. Jeez.
Are you crying already?
No, not yet. But Surena has been a good friend, and I knew when I first met everybody. I just felt we took a picture together beforehand. I was just I feel I'm gonna be friends with these people outside of this game, and I don't have a lot of friends back here at home, so it's been really nice to kind of meet people outside of my usual circle who are just generally nice, and we're enjoying this game so much, and it's been pretty cool. So I'm just
that's so sweet.
Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna get emotional, I've decided. But
I didn't realize that was the Barbara Walters of D&D interviews here. That was totally unintentional. That was a softball question. Come on.
Sorry.
No, when I first met Brandon, we all try to meet each other a little bit before the stream started, just to get to know each other, because it was essentially two groups, the Dungeon Rats God's Fall, Neon Rivals Collective, the three of us, and then 4 people we've never met before, and only we're talking to online. And so to put a face to the chat bubble exceeded any expectations I've had. Everybody is so kind, and genuine. And yeah, when I knew I was going to be friends with Brandon when we were at the bar we met at, and I'm a lightweight. I had 2 beers and I'm like, woo, you know. And, I was like, we need to take a picture. And I was really aggressive about it.
Just like your character.
Just like my character. And he was equally like, yes, this is exactly what we need to do.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so I do remember the moment that Brandon was talking about in the dressing room. I know we were in the green room before, like, it was like 10 minutes before we actually had to walk on that stage. And I thought, like, people were figuring out, like, what voices and, like, their mannerisms. And it was all, like, trying to figure it out. And I just, like, whipped around. And I, in my character voice, said, I have something in this box for you, Rin. What is it? And just to make him improvise through it.
Yeah.
And then we just did this, like, mini little scene together in the room. And it helped me too, because I was also very nervous. But as soon as that happened, we both were like, oh yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fine.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. So all you needed was just a quick little role play warm up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah. I had the idea to, reach out to Tanya DePass and see if she had any folks who would want to play Dungeons & Dragons. And then I knew Aram had been working with you and Carlos for Dungeon Rats. And there was like try, putting them together. This might actually work, but I don't know if you knew that. I was like checking up with both, I think, Tanya and Aram after you guys had first met up, just to be like, is it cool? Are you guys all right?
I didn't know that.
Because I didn't know. It was one of those things where it's like, I think they're going to really gel together, but, who knows about personalities, right? When they get thrust, into the same, stressful environment, that doesn't always work out. And hearing the love that you guys have expressed to each other, and as well as, the day before the Stream of Many Eyes, where that was the first time I met many of you at the little mixer party ahead of time. I mean, it was just so nice to have this outpouring of love, not only for, each other, but for just like being there and being a part of it.
Yeah, it was definitely a great experience. And I said this a few times, like, even after that event, like, I felt like just being a part of the show, seeing so many people like with so many positive reviews or responses. And I felt like I was doing something for the first time, like that was bigger than just me. And that I felt like we were representing a lot of people who haven't been able to have voice or be out there, like, just, playing D&D and tabletop gaming. And it's just been such a crazy experience to see like fans, like, drawing pictures of us and people like, after the first day was already happening, and like I had like my first fan art of my character like within like a day, and I was freaking out because I didn't know like it was gonna come that way. And it's just been so crazy in a good way. And I'm just been really excited about just whole entire D&D experience, and hopefully like doing more of it. But
Absolutely.
I'm scared to let my character go.
Don't let him go.
Don't let him go.
Yeah. Hold on to him with your claws.
Claw hands.
Oh, that's so adorable. Yeah, the outpouring of fan art from that first day was a surprise to me too, because I was just like, whoa, this like hit a nerve immediately. People were just super excited about the different characters that you were bringing to life, right?
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome. And so now that you've got 5 weeks, right? 5 or 6 weeks under your belt, do you feel, I don't know, Brandon, do you feel like a little bit more experienced? Like you're like, all right, this is not such a new thing anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely like I'm still learning, and of course, like all the different spells and stuff, I gotta keep that up. But I feel more confident now than I did like probably a few weeks ago before I started. But I'm still learning, and it's been really cool just to see all the different characters who like what they can do, and learning the rules and stuff has been really interesting to me, because I've always like seen it, obviously on Twitch streams and things like that, but like actually like playing it has been a really cool experience.
Yeah. And we always tell people, like, that's always the fallacy with some folks who they think about, I can't get into Dungeons & Dragons because I have to know every single spell, or I need to know all the rules. And it's like, no, you just gotta play, right?
Yeah.
Right, Surena? Is that how you learned?
That's huge. That's exactly how I learned. And that's how I was trying to teach people, which I mean can be good or bad depending on like what they're trying to do. But I'm just like, just dive in. Just pick whatever you want to pick. And we're there to help you too. Like if you have questions about like your modifier or any of the other crunchy stuff, like we all have each other. So there's no pressure.
Somebody at the table will know.
Yeah.
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 That's always the thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, even as a dungeon master, like somebody else will know the rule or whatever, and you can just kind of go with it. It's not, an exhaustive list of every single member. Even people I in the office here who make the game, they're not sure. They look it up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just part of it. It's almost, I think the one skill that is a good one to have is knowing where to look up stuff. You don't have to memorize it, but you need to know where to go to get the information that you need. That is definitely helpful. But I want to go back to something you said before, Brandon, about some people in the streaming world who play a lot of video games, and me being in that camp as far as going home and shutting down and like only looking at my computer screen. Having a game like Dungeons & Dragons where you're face to face and interacting with people on a social level, even you guys who are doing it for a stream, like for entertainment, like that's got to be a nice change of pace for someone who only streams from your apartment by yourself.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's nice to actually see people. I will say that. Just like being around people and like socializing, because like I work from home, I work remotely, so I'm always like in this room constantly. So it's really nice to like get out, like on Sundays to just go and play the game and get to interact with people. I forgot where I was going with that one, but it's nice to see people.
Right. Well, and I think that's been the appeal for a lot of, not just people in this generation, but parents dealing with kids who are coming up at this time, which is so much about the screens and where you get the stuff. And I'm as guilty of it, as I said, of anybody else is, but it's so great to see folks getting around a table and playing Dungeons and Dragons, and more people are like flocking to it. I think now is one of my pet theories, is like, because we're in such a digital world and so much of the media we consume is that way, people are now going back to D&D because of that campfire storytelling mentality, right? Mm-hmm. Have you experienced that with other streamers who are like, man, I don't want to be by myself, I want to do other stuff with other people like you are?
Oh yeah, I definitely have a few friends who have like reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to be a part of the DD group," and I've told them like, there's a lot of streamers out there who, if they just like connected together, they probably could do it. There's also like, I noticed now there's a community now on Twitch of streamers who like are doing shows and different things like that in different streams. So it's starting to get more popular, especially just like streamers who do their solo stuff and trying to get people together. It's been pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. Hopefully we can be that catalyst to get more people doing it, right? Are you going to TwitchCon this year?
I will be at TwitchCon, yeah. I will be there.
I will too.
I'm excited.
I'm definitely going to have at least a few invites for you to come be a part of what we're doing there, because that's really what I want to do there is connect with other streamers and be like, you're so adjacent to what Dungeons and Dragons is, but come to the other side. Come make it be fun. You like Skyrim? You could do it for reals. You can do whatever you want. Go over that mountain range. See what's on the other side. Right?
Oh yeah.
So that'll be exciting. And Surena, you're going to Gen Con, right?
I am.
It's going to be your first time.
Yes, I am very excited. I'm nervous. We're going with the Dungeon Rats and God's Fall and all of the Neon Rival people, and we're doing 6 panels, or I'm doing 6 panels. I counted them last night, and I was like, oh, okay.
While doing some gaming in between.
Yes, gaming, and I'm going to be cosplaying as both my character from Rivals and my character from the Dungeon Rats Bugfly.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
I like Bugfly a lot. I think I listened to like the 2 or 3 of the first streams, and you guys make me crack up way too much. It's so funny.
Just a giant child, or a regular sized child.
A regular sized child. That's exciting. I can't wait to get your after action report of Gen Con and see what it was like. It must be insane for someone to walk into that for the first time in 2018. It's going to be,
Yeah. I know we're
bombarding your eyes.
Right? We have a big Airbnb. There's like 8 of us. And it's going to be like the real world. Probably. So
can you please record an intro that's like that? It's like 8 not strangers picked this house to live in.
Man, I'm gonna hide in the closet for my confessional. Oh my god, Carlos.
Can you believe it? He made bacon and it stank up the whole house, but I ate it all because it was delicious. Yes, I want to see all of those video diaries all weekend long. So yeah, we mentioned Carlos, Luna, and Aram. What's it been like working with? I mean, he's such a great dungeon master. I'm jealous that you guys get to play with him every week.
He is unbelievably creative, and the way he speaks is really pretty. I mean, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Intonation of his voice. But yeah, it's always really surprising the turns that happen, and yeah, it's a really engaging experience.
Yeah, I would say for myself, one of the main reasons I've gotten so into it is because of, the storytelling, and I'm like, I can imagine this stuff happening, and if it was just like someone who didn't know what they're doing, I probably would be like, oh, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. But just like the story developing and where our characters are going and all the different like turns, like Surena was saying, it's been pretty interesting to kind of develop my character within the story, and then seeing where it's been going, and that I've been really engaged with the story because it's incredibly told. Yeah.
I love it. And shout out to Carlos for coming in and helping doing some troubleshooting for the video this morning.
So good. He's
for sure.
But I love that he's kind of adopted Knock Knock as being his. There was a point where he was going to play all the NPCs, right?
Yes. Yeah. He was is supposed to play all the NPCs, and then during the stream we're like, oh, it's not exactly going to work with the format, so we're like, I think a couple days before, he just threw together Knock Knock. He had no idea where this beautiful half orc was going to take him, and he just doubled down on everything, and it's so funny just to hear him like a couple days before being like, oh, I don't know, I think I'll just do this thing, it'll be fine, to this cool character. I think it's like a testament to like just how talented he is.
Yeah.
As a role player.
For sure. Because you just thought it was going to be a throwaway, like, oh, I'll just do this for one session, and then it ends up being, this fan favorite almost.
Right. Truly. Yeah.
That is cool. And then of course Cicero Holmes is hilarious.
Yeah.
He makes me crack up all the time.
PU. He is so funny and also evil. Not Cicero. Cicero is wonderful. But Perrin, sometimes he'll say something and it'll go from really funny to really like chilling. And it's really cool.
Yeah. Like that episode where Perrin did the thing to the what was it, the brothers, I think.
Oh,
yeah. And we kind of referenced it on this week's episode about how like we were fighting the I think it was the siblings, or it was a sister of the brothers that we all fought, and it was you could see his character just being kind of he's crazy, but like he's also really cool. We can be friends with him.
He's fine, yeah.
Super chill.
Yeah. So we don't want to mess with him. He can mess with everybody else, but not us.
Yeah, mess with your mind. Like,
yeah. I know that is when they're always so nice and laughing, and then you're like, but there's a dark side. There could very much be a dark side. It was also great being able to hang out with Tanya DePass at the Stream Many Eyes. I didn't get to see her a lot beforehand leading up to that, but her character has been lots of fun, as well as Sharif's. I just love that whole group.
Yeah.
I love Tanya. I love Tanya so much. Her character has the most genuine and realist reactions to like the craziness around us. Like her character is like the voice of the audience, the voice of reason. And like Rin and I are like running, probably gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous. Like you know. And then Shaka, or Shrew's character Shaka, is cool because he's really like analytical. And I've done games before, and they've always been with like comedians or people who like are more, again, for the RP aspect. But he's so into solving the puzzle and figuring out the strategy, and that is that's really cool to watch, because I've never experienced another player like that before.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense if you come from a more D&D as entertainment background. You know, it's all about getting the laugh. But there is, you know, I mean, you know, there are people who enjoy the more tactical, you know, how are we going to get through this by, you know, taking the least amount of damage type player, right? And that's it's that meld that makes this game great, I think. And it does sound like every single character has, you know, a little bit of the player in them.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
That's why this game is so cool. You know, you can just do it's me, but it's a little bit different me. And when do you ever get to do that? You know,
that's true. Yeah, right. That's why I love it so far. So it's been cool to just like be not myself, but be myself.
Yeah.
Right. It's like taking a part of yourself that either you really like about yourself or you think is strange, and then just like amplifying it to like a 10 and following that and figuring out where that leads you. And that's like so fascinating to me.
It is, yeah. And I think you learn more about yourself with some of the decisions that you make in game off the hook, and it's like, whoa, all right, well, I need to unpack that. Yes. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Yeah. It's so interesting. So what would you say? I mean, because a lot of what we've been trying to do with the stream Many Eyes, but also just Dungeons and Dragons in general this year is like dispelling the myth that it's hard for new players, right? Like, so what would you say to someone who's like, I can't do that. I don't have any time, or, you know, I don't play games like that. What would you say to them to be like, no, you should give D&D a shot?
Well, I know for me, like to like prepare for everything, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, of course, like tutorials and stuff. And I kind of just read up on the stuff. D&D Beyond was really good to like, you know, build the character and find the spells and all that kind of stuff, and putting it all together in my head. If you could find a group that has like experienced players, that's very helpful. And that's what's helped me a lot. Like sometimes I may get some things wrong, and, you know, someone will kind of correct me on that. Always ask questions. If you don't know, just ask. Like I've learned that if I don't know, I should just ask instead of just being like, I'm just going to try to see if I can figure out myself, because I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. But just asking is very helpful to get, you know, all the knowledge and try to learn as best as you can.
Yeah, I think D&D is storytelling, right? So if you like telling stories and you like people, like being around and like shared storytelling, then there's no reason why you couldn't try D&D. And because the rules are really good guideposts, and they inform your character, and they do make the game function as a game. But there's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect person. So there can't be a perfect character, and there's no such thing as a perfect choice, because the choices are just part of the experience. So you have to make them to play. So that, I guess, dispelling that fear, I would say just to find a group of people you like and that you like to have fun with, and just try it. Just crack open a book and figure it out together, because that's, I don't know, that will make a really fun campaign.
Yeah, it will. Just like yours. Just like your campaign.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think you both mentioned like, oh God, I don't want to know where it's going to go in the future. Like where would you, you know, where do you see Rivals of Waterdeep going, you know, from here?
Hopefully more. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the story is going at this point. Like towards the end, obviously we don't know yet. But I would love to develop my character more, of course. And, you know, he kind of went through a lot this past week. You know, he got married and all this stuff, and
which is your choice.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm gonna get married, you guys. Let's just do it.
Cool.
But yeah,
like
really,
you do.
Yeah. I just hope to develop the character more, and then hopefully, like, you know, just us being able to, you know, more of a journey for our characters, because I feel like there's more story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot more story to tell. I think that there's a lot of like really cool seeds planted so far, and mysteries. And I'm just curious. I'm curious to see where all of the characters go, and if they'll be successful or like super fail.
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
maybe you'll get, in addition to just one claw, you'll now have 2 claws.
That would
is that a win or is that a loss? I don't know.
I always wanted to be a lobster. I wanted to role play a lobster for so long. I have to tell a stupid joke, or not even a joke. When I was a stage manager in New York City, my duties was to go and like change the furniture from one thing to the next. And I always used to I was the assistant stage manager. I used to like make my stage manager laugh by doing silly things. There was one, I was like, I'm going to be a lobster. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, watch me on stage. So the whole time I was doing the scene change, I was doing it in lobster claws and picking up the things. Nobody was watching me except for her. And I would just hear her laughing in the background because it was like during intermission. So I have a fondness for lobster claws for that reason.
Oh my God. I love that so much. I used to work as a wardrobe person at the Arizona Broadway Theater. And similarly to your story, me and the other wardrobe girl used to really like to be T-Rexes, specifically baby T-Rexes. And so we would like creep around like the backstage area doing our quick changes and like picking things to the laundry as little T-Rex.
Oh my God. Just to pass the time, right? Just to make it laugh. Yeah.
We have like 6 shows a week. Like
you got to do something to make it fun. That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, I hope you eventually get both Demon Claws. I hope we hear more from Rin's story and what's happening there. It's going to be really exciting. Where can people find out? Well, hey, when can people watch Rivals Waterdeep? Sundays?
Yes, Sundays at 12 p.m. Central on the D&D Twitch channel.
Yay. And that's 10 a.m. Pacific. Is that right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is right.
Time zones are confusing for me.
That's why I paused. I was like, wait a minute. What time is it in Pacific?
Exactly. You're like, how is this going to work? I don't understand math.
Math? No, I don't.
Time traveling is very hard. We don't do it well here.
But
what about how people can find out about you guys individually? Brandon, how can people watch you and your channel?
So I stream on twitch.tv/IamBrandon. I'm also on Twitter at IamBrandonTV because I couldn't get I Am Brandon because someone took that. And I have, I work for Versus Evil, so I do like influencer stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, we have indie games everywhere, all over the place. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Sweet. What about you, Surena?
You can catch me on the Neon Rival shows. I play Bugfly in the Dungeon Rats and Caitlin on Godsfall. And you can also catch me on Twitter at Surena X Marie because someone also had Surena Marie and I had to put an X in between. So that's what I did.
That should just be
Instagram too.
That should just be your middle name going forward. It's like,
it's just an X.
Surena X. I love it. Good stuff. You guys are doing wonderful character work as well as work pushing the fun stuff with Rivals. So great job. And I can't wait to see where it goes in the future.
Yes.
It'll be exciting. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you later. Everybody here on the Twitch, we are Saga 3 and they're D&D fans also, so I can't wait for that. So we're going to take a little break, get everything ready to go for that interview, and I'll be back. See you soon.